Hey, good afternoon, everybody. How are y'all doing today? Wanted to come to you a little bit and just encourage each and every one of you to get out and vote. We've got less than 3 weeks now. Less than 3 weeks. I can't believe that it's here. And get out and vote. Get out and vote. Go to your polling place. Make your selection. Don't assume that your vote doesn't matter. Don't assume that your vote don't matter. Your vote counts. Your vote matters. Go to your polling place and make your vote. One vote matters. The reason that I'm coming to you this afternoon is, well, other than to encourage you to cast your vote, because one vote does matter. One vote does matter. Your vote matters. And with that being said, I want to bring to you an example of one vote. Back in the late 70s, possibly the early 80s, I can't remember exactly what year it was, I was selected to be on a jury for a trial of a man who was charged with murder. He was charged with first-degree murder. And this trial lasted approximately, I can't remember exactly, 3 to 4 days. And during that 3 to 4 days, the 12 of us on the jury, we had to sit, of course, and listen to the opening statements from the attorneys. We had to listen to all of the witnesses. We were shown the evidence of what they had. We listened to the testimonies of, all of the witnesses. We listened to the gentleman that was accused of murder. And first-degree murder, they were going for life in prison. Life in prison for this man. Okay, so on the jury, we listened to the 3 to 4 days, whatever it was, I don't remember, of the entire trial. Well, after the closing arguments, time for us to go to the deliberation room, and we sat around the table and we made cast our little yay or nay, guilty or not guilty, on a piece of paper around the table, put it in a bowl. Well, we took the count, and the foreman, went through the voting, and it was 11 to 1. 11 to 1. Well, in a first-degree murder trial, it has to be unanimous, all 12. So we began to discuss amongst us why or why not we felt that this man should go to prison for the rest of his life. And each one stated their reason. Well, when it come to me, I stated mine and my reason why he shouldn't go to prison. I was the one. 11 to 1. I was the one. And based on the evidence, in my view, wasn't no way. Wasn't no way the man was guilty. Didn't believe it then, still don't believe it. I do not believe the man was guilty based on the evidence and the testimony and the witnesses that I heard. Now, mind you, we sat and conversed among us, and needless to say, I was trying to be convinced at that time because I was just pretty young, and some of the others were, they were older than me, and so they were more or less trying to, I think, intimidate me to change my vote or change my how I believed. Excuse me. Well, we made our, statement as to our reason. Took another vote. 11-1. 11-1. We did that about 4 times. 11-1 every time. And they were beginning to get a little bit perturbed with me because it was getting late in the day, and they just got pretty hostile. And I got hostile back. And I more or less said, we can be here till next week. I'm not changing my vote. I'm not changing how I'm pleading for this man. I don't believe it. I don't believe he's guilty. I'm not sending this man to life in prison who has a family, he has young children, and I do not believe the man is guilty. And I had one of the people that were in the jury room says, well, we're going to be here all night. It's getting late. It's time, it's more or less, in other words, it was getting close to supper time, and they wanted to come to they wanted to come to a guilty verdict so they could go home. They were willing to send this man to prison because they wanted to go home for supper. And I as much said so. I said, so you're telling me that because y'all want to be dismissed and allowed to go for supper, you're willing to send this man to prison just to get this over with? I said, well, we're going to be here all night, all next, I don't know how long, because it's going to be 11-1. I refuse to change my vote. And I went again and I explained the reasons why I did not see that the man was guilty. I just didn't see it. So we ended up, they did dismiss us for a supper break and said, we will see you back in the morning. Fine. So went to supper next morning. Come back in, got in the deliberation room again, took another count, 11-1. Another time, went around the table again. Each one of us explained why they believe he should go to prison. I still stood up. No. So we took a final vote. It was drawing to they just seen I was not going to change my mind. They took a final vote, and the final vote, it was 10-2. Somebody else had also changed their mind and voted not guilty. So the man went free. He walked free. And as far as I know, to this day, the man has never been in trouble. He's held a job. He's supported his family. He's raised his children. And as far as I know, grandkids and what have you, and was a productive member of society who was never, to my knowledge, in trouble again. I don't guess as much as even had a speeding ticket. So your vote does make a difference. Your vote does make a difference, and just to let you know how, since it's being a small town, about 10 years ago, that gentleman somehow knew that I was the one that voted not guilty. And the man approached me and he thanked me over and over again about how much he appreciated my vote and sticking up for him that he was able to continue to raise his children and be with his family and his wife. So your vote does make a difference. Your vote counts. And I'll never forget that. Long as I live, I'll never forget that. So my vote made a difference in that man's life. And the vote that we're going to make in less than 3 weeks, it's going to make a difference. So go to the polls, make a vote. Your one vote, yeah, it counts. Y'all have a good day.